is greatest common divisor. The greatest common divisor you might have studied in your previous classes, no, in your smaller classes. So the common divisor you have studied, right? Common divisor of, usually we will be finding the common divisor of two integers, right? We'll be finding the common divisor of two integers. And then among that, the greatest common divisor will be a number which can divide both the numbers. And among the list of numbers which can divide both the numbers, the greatest among them will be considered as the greatest common divisor. So here in this example, the greatest common divisor of 24 and 30. What is the meaning of greatest common divisor? A number which can completely divide, or there is no remainder. So remainder, how you will be finding using the mode operation, right? So we are using the mode operation in order to find the greatest common divisor. The greatest common divisor of two integers is the largest of the common divisors of A and B. Suppose the two integers, we are naming it as A and B. So what is the meaning of greatest common divisor? Largest of the common divisors of A and B. And it is denoted as GCD of A comma B, right? So if 24 and 30, the greatest among them, you will have to find the common divisors for 24 and 30. So there will be a list of numbers which can divide both 24. When we consider 24 alone, you know, it will be, you can divide by 2, you can divide by 4. It is completely divisible by 4. It is completely divisible by 6. It is completely divisible by 12, right? Then when we consider similarly for 30 also, we know it is completely divisible by which all numbers, 3, 10, 5, 6 and all. So among this, you have to find the greatest common divisor of 24 and 30, and among that the highest number, right? So there is you will be using factorization method. You have studied some other methods in maths, and one more algorithm is Euclidean's algorithm. So Euclidean's algorithm is also used for finding the greatest common divisor. And the advantage of this method is, even if you take a big number for finding the greatest common divisor, you'll be getting tired of the usual factorization method and all. So there is an algorithm called Euclidean's algorithm, which makes it easier. So we are going to implement the Euclidean's algorithm in order to find the greatest common divisor of any number. So in this example, I gave only small numbers. If you are giving some 3-digit number or 4-digit number, how the algorithm works out. So we will see in the we will see first how it is done manually, and then how we will be converting into a program. Are you all listening? Are you able to hear me, students?
Yes, ma'am.
So first we will see an example. Okay. So the greatest common. This topic I didn't take for you, right?
Ma'am.
Okay. So the greatest common divisor of two numbers. I'm passing the two numbers as 30 and 24. Suppose I'm denoting it as a function called. That's all. So GCD of two numbers, 30 and 24. Even if you are finding GCD manually, also we'll just give it like GCD 30, 24. The first number is taken as A and second number is taken as B, right? So we will be using a table in order to calculate the greatest common divisor of the two numbers 30 and 24. Here A is considered as 30 and B is considered as 24. In the table, the first column we will name it as A, second as B, and the third as A mod B. What is A mod B? A mod B will be giving you the remainder of when A is divided by B. Got it? And we are assigning it to a variable called R. R means remainder. So I'm using a variable called R. So I'm just using in this column, I'm just denoting A mod B, and in the next column, I'm indicating R. Got it? So here in this table, we will be writing down the values of A and B. That is our first step. So A is 30 and B is 24. In the next column, we are going to find A mod B. That means 30 mod 24, right? When 30 is divided by 24, what is the remainder? So we are getting the remainder as 6. Got it? So we got the remainder as 6. In the next step, listen here. In the next step, I have written one line over here. Replace A by the value B and replace B by the value of R. So what will happen now? Now in the next row, we will be making A as 24, B as 6. Got it? B as 6. Now repeat the process of finding the remainder. That means 24 is divided by 6. So what will be the remainder? You know that the remainder is 0, right? Then we are writing R as. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. In the next step, we are making again following the same thing. Replace A by B and replace B by R. So we are going to replace in the next row, we are going to replace A value by the value of B in the previous step. And for the B value, we are taking the value of R in the previous step, right? So we got now A as 6 and B as 0. Now we are going to find, now we are going to, oh, what that animation only one. We are going to see that when we divide or when we find 6 mod 0, the answer will be 0. That step you need not consider. Here when you reach, you just check if B equal to 0, there is a checking which will happen over here. If B equal to 0, return 6 as GCD of 30 and 24. In any step, if you are getting B as 0, return A value as the greatest common divisor. Okay, so here this will be, so in this case as B is 0, so in any row, this in the third row or the third row only we got the value of B as 0. In case you are getting some numbers, it may take longer, or some numbers even in the first row you may get a B value 0. At any point, if you are getting B as 0, return A as the greatest common divisor. If you understood this problem, then your algorithm is done, and your program is also done. One of the program is for finding the GCD. Write a C program to find the GCD using recursion. So that program is done. So this will be the method which is used for finding the greatest common divisor. That is also known as the Euclidean algorithm. So I hope you are. Hope it is clear. We will be seeing two more examples. So in this case, whatever value we are passing in the bracket, first value will be taken as A and second will be taken as B. You know that even if you give GCD of 24 and 30, the value of the greatest common divisor will be 6. But there is a difference when we are doing it in the Euclidean algorithm. There are certain things which we have to consider. When A value is equal to B, when A value is less than B, and when A value is greater than B. So in this case, the value of A is greater than B. So when A value of A is greater than B, we will be just giving A and B. And even if B is greater than A also, we will be following the same steps, but only one thing is there, one extra row will be there for doing the swap A and B value. Somebody is trying to speak, I think. Janeshwari, you have some doubt or? Okay. So now in this example, we saw that GCD of 30 and 24 is 6. Now in the next slide, I'm moving on to next slide, in which we are finding the GCD of the same numbers 30 and 24, but I'm giving A value as 24, B value as 30. Listen here, you know that GCD of 24 and 30 will be 6. Whatever be the order, but the GCD will be 6. Now we will see how it is done. So if we are getting A value as 24 and B is 34, we have to again write into the table, make A as 24 and B as 30. Now what is the next step? We will be finding A mod B, that is 24 mod 30. You know how to find A mod B, right? So what is A mod B? I'll just show it over here. In this case, you will be finding 24 divided by 30. So what will be the, how many times 30 will be going in? 24. Yeah. Somebody is having any doubt? I think. Oh, all are coming now only. Gaudam. Okay, so 30, how many times it will go in 24? Only? How many times it will go? 0 times, right? It will not be going. So 30 into 0 will be 0. So what will be the remainder? Remainder will be 24. Are you all getting? So the remainder will be 24. So we are going to write in this column, in this cell and in this cell, what we are going to write? R equal to 24 mod 30 and R equal to 24. You got the remainder as 24. Got it? So this is clear, right? Now I'm just showing what is the difference when we are having the A value less than B. Now we got the remainder as 24. Follow the same process. In the next step, we have to make A as B and B value as R. Same thing what we were doing in the last slide. Always in the next step, now we have to make A equal to B and B equal to R. So now A became 30 and B became 24. Understood? So now what is the next step? We have to find R, that is A mod B. A mod B is what? 30 mod 24. Got it? So again, we have to find 30. In the last step, we were finding 24 divided by 30. Here we are going to find 30 divided by 24. So how many times 24 will be going in 30? One time, right? So we'll be writing 24. And what is the remainder? Remainder is 6. Understood? So now we wrote the remainder as 6. So ultimately, just see what had happened in these two steps. When we gave A value less than B, here you know A is 24 and B is 30. When we gave A less than B, what happened? Ultimately, one row, one extra row was there for swapping the values of A and B. Now, A value and B value got interchanged. But we followed the same process of finding the mode. The steps are same, but it will get a swapping between A and B value. Got it? So when we learn such things, we should understand that for swapping two values, if you don't have any temporary variable to swap, you can use this method also, right? Finding the mode. So it will be swapping the two values, right? So here we are using the value of R as the temporary value. Okay. So this and all we are learning in order to get some logic. So you have to understand that you did one extra swapping or one extra row in order to do the swapping of A and B. So for this algorithm, ultimately, in order to run smoothly, we should have A value greater than B. Got it? So one extra iteration will be there, or one extra row will be there, or one extra time we will be finding the mode of A and B. Got it? So this, after this, all the steps will be the same as we did in the previous slide. Got it? So now what will happen? Now in the next step, we will be making A as B. So what is A value? A value now will be becoming 24. B value will become 6. Now we will find R equal to 24 mod 6. The remainder will be 0. Again, in the next step, what we will do? We will make A as B. So it is 6 and B as remainder or 0. Right? So now we are checking. Always we will be checking whether A value is less than B value is equal to 0. If B value is equal to 0, what we have to do? We have to return A as it is common divisor. Here, what is the value of A? Value of A is 6. Right? The greatest common divisor of 24 and 30. In both the slides, I was finding ECD of 24 and 30, and we know that it is 6. But in Euclidean's algorithm, the first checking will be like even if you are not checking manually, when we are doing, we'll be checking whether A is less than B. If A is less than B, automatically one extra row for finding the or in order to swap the values of A and B will be there. So when we compare the previous slide, when we compare the previous slide, here it was only 3 rows. Here it will be like 4 rows for finding the greatest common divisor. Okay, so we will move on to the next example. The greatest common divisor of 98 and 56. Can you try in your notebook? And so today we will be, when we are sending the notes, I should see, do at least, I am not telling you to copy all the things, but only some problems. This, if you understand, then algorithm will be easy. That's why. Okay. All of you try in your notebook. Find the GCD. In this table, you write what is A value and what is B value. Gautam, are you there? Can you tell me what will be the values? Gautam. Gautam Manjunath. Gautam? Mic only not connected. You have to message in the chat box if you are there. Or in the WhatsApp you have to message. Gautam? Anybody did? What is the value of A now? A value is? Can somebody unmute and speak?
98.
A value will
42.
A value is 98 and B value is 56. So what is A mod B? What is R value? Anybody got it?
42.
Okay, so now in the next step, what is A value? A value is
56.
56. B value is 42.
42.
What is A mod B?
14. 14, ma'am.
14. Okay, good. So we will be getting 14. I was seeing who is. It will be 14. Now, what will happen? Now A value will become 42 and B value will become 14. Now mode value 42 mode 14 will be Abrar. What is that?
0.
0. So now, now we will be having one more. This A value will be 14 and B value will be 0. So what should be returned now? As B value is 0, return A value. What is the A value now? A value is current I value is 14. So 14 will be the GCD of 98 and 56. Don't copy from the slide. I can imagine how we will be copying like pictures, you're seeing and writing. Try out now how to find mode. Ultimately, it is for your benefit only, right? You should be knowing what is the use of writing, seeing the PPT. Don't copy from the PPT. Try from your side. Now do what is the GCD of 270 and 192. Okay. So what is A here? Those who have done, answer in the chat box.
270.
GCD of A value is 270 and B value is 192.
192. R is 78 now.
First, okay, 1 second. R value will be 78. Now, Pavan. Now A value will be 192. B value will be.
And B is 78 now.
What is mode value?
36.
Okay, good. Now in the next row, we will be having 78 and 36.
6.
Mode value will be
6, ma'am. 6.
6 now.
So now 36 and 6.
0.
0. So what is GCD now? GCD will be 6. Okay, so hope it is clear. So you can see now 270, 192. So these with these many steps, we found the GCD of these two numbers. Everyone completed? Do it in your notebook. Otherwise, no, later when we are doing that program, if you once see this logic, you will understand. That's why I'm telling. Program is only 2 lines. But how we are getting, because of recursive call, the program length will be very less. But ultimately, you should understand the iterations involved. Okay. Everyone finished, right? I'm moving on to the algorithm. So GCD can be, now we are going to see GCD, you can write without recursion also. We are going to write or write the algorithm and the program using recursive calls. So GCD can be expressed as a recursive program based on the theorem. Theorem and all, when you hear, no need of getting scared. We are just finding the GCD of two numbers using this line, only theorem is only one line. You just see GCD of A comma B can be found if you find GCD of, listen here, GCD of B A mod B. What is the meaning of this line? That is, if you want to find GCD of, suppose we had in the first example, GCD of the two numbers 30, 24. A value was 30 and B value is 24. Now we are going to find GCD of 30, 24 means ultimately what we are doing is GCD of, what we are repeatedly doing is GCD of B comma A mod B. What is the meaning of this? So when we draw the table, we saw that in the first row we wrote GCD, no, the first column, first row we wrote as A is equal to B 30 and B equal to 24. And then we found R value. What is R value? 30 mod 24. In the next row, what we did was, we made A value as B. So in position of A value, we are passing the value of B. And in position of B value, we are passing R value. What is R? A mod B. Right? So if you repeatedly find, so we are passing instead of A, the value of B. You know, in the next, in the table, we saw that in the previous thing. No? So in order to find the GCD of 270 and 192, we found R value as 270 mod 192, that we got as 78. In the next step, we are again finding, again what is happening over here, we are just finding the GCD of the two numbers. What are the two numbers? 192, 17. What is 192? Actually 192 was B, right? B value, in the next row it became A. What was 78? 78 was R value. In the next row, we made 78 as B. In each row, actually we are finding GCD of A, B, but actual value of A is the current value of A is the previous value of B, and the current value of B is the value A mod B, that is R. So in each step, actually, we are finding the GCD of A, B. In position of A, the previous value of B, and in position of B, we have previous value of R, A mod B, that is R. Right? So in each step, we are recursively finding the GCD of A comma B. Actual value of A is B, and actual value of B is the mod value of A comma B. So we are writing it as recursive call. When we write the recursive call, we are writing in a single line. GCD of A comma B is GCD of B A mod B. You know what is A mod B? A mod B is the remainder when we divide A by B. So this will ultimately result in calling the GCD again. So when we reach here with the GCD with the new value of A and D, again we are finding the GCD of new value with the same equation GCD D comma A mod B. So in each row, as we saw in the table, we are repeatedly calling GCD of A comma B, but a value of A, B will be replaced by the previous rows B and R value. R value is what? A mod B. Hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. So here, the greatest common divisor. Why you are messaging 6? I didn't understand. Okay, that was previous question, right? Okay. So here, in each step, ultimately in the table, no, it will be like recursively finding the GCD of A comma B. A and B value will be exchanged, or it will be replaced by B and R value. What is R value? That is A mod B. So the greatest common divisor B is the largest natural number that divide both A and B without leaving any remainder. That is the definition of the GCD. We will see now how this algorithm works. Let A and B be two non-negative integers. GCD A comma B is given as if B is equal to 0, then return A. That much big program. We are doing it in two simple lines. If B is equal to 0, return A. This was the step which we did in the last step. If B equal to 0, return A as a GCD. That is the only thing which we are writing now. If B is equal to 0, return A as a GCD. Return A means it will return back to the main and it will be printed as a GCD of the two numbers A and B. Now we see else return GCD B comma A mod B. So in all the other cases, only for the last case this will be working if B equal to 0. But in all other cases, it will be repeatedly calling GCD B comma A mod B. Are you getting? So only 3 lines are there in order to execute the Euclidean algorithm. If B equal to 0, return A as the greatest common divisor. Else, repeatedly call GCD B comma A mod B. So in each row, we know that we are repeatedly calling the GCD of AB. In place of A, we will be getting the B value. We will be passing the B value. And in place of B, we will be passing the R value, which is the previous mode of A mod B. Now, in this thing, as I told, some extra things which we have to understand is, now only these 3 lines will be there, but what we have to understand is, if A is less than B, as I told in that second example, if A value is less than B, in Euclidean algorithm, when we do it manually, what we are doing is, we will be making one swapping of the values. But using this algorithm, if you are running the program with A value less than B, then one extra recursive call, which is a recursive call function here, we are calling the GCD function one more time. That's why in the second example, we had one extra row, right? We had one extra row because we made an extra recursive call for the GCD function. Got it? Now, in one more thing which you have to understand is, if A is equal to B, what will be the remainder in the first step? If you are passing 2 numbers, find the GCD of 24, 24. That means A and B value are same. In that case, in the first row itself, we will be finding A mod B. What is A mod B? 24 mod 24, right? If you are passing both A and B are same, then it will be 24 mod 24. What will be the remainder? Remainder will be 0. So in first case itself, we will be getting the remainder as 0. So what will be 24 will be the greatest common divisor, right? If A is greater than B, we will make all the recursive calls. If this is the usual condition, if A is greater than B, recursive calls are made until B is equal to 0. Got it? So usually we will be doing only this step, right? If A is greater than B, this is the actual Euclidean algorithm. When we do manually, we will be seeing that if A is greater than B, we will be repeatedly making the recursive call. Otherwise, if A is less than B, we will make one extra recursive call, right? In order to swap the values of A and B. So here the algorithm works on the 2 lines of code. So we are just making it as an algorithm. Input expected is 2 integers for which we are finding the greatest common divisor, and output will be the greatest common divisor of A and B. In the beginning, we will be giving start and then divide A by B and get the remainder as R. Replace A by B and replace B by R. If B is equal to 0, report A as the GCD of A and B, else go to step 2. So this much is there because in algorithm we cannot apply recursive function call. We will be writing the step-by-step process. First, we will be dividing A by B and get the remainder as R. Replace, in the next step what we will do, replace A by B and replace B by R, right? And if B is equal to 0, report A as the greatest common divisor of A and B. Understood? If B is equal to 0. Else means what? B is not equal to 0 means which step we have to go? We have to go to step 2. So in all other cases, except for the last case, it will be repeatedly moving towards the step 2 and execute all steps and again go to step 2 like that, right? If B is equal to 0, the current value of A, not the initial value of A, the current value of A when B was equal to 0 will be given as the reported as a GCD of A and B. Now, program to compute GCD. So now we will see how this iteration is working. So one small example we will take and then. So if you are passing the 24 and that same example, so we'll see how the GCD function. What is the name of the function here? GCD. What is the expected return value? You people are not answering, I am only answering. Return value is an integer data type And what are the two arguments which we are passing? Integer a and b, right? So here enter the value for a and b. You are asking the user to enter. So suppose I entered value of a as 30 and value of b as 24. So what will happen now? We are going to find in the next line. I'm just calling. We are not making a function call from here. Just see one small difference I made over here. GCD of here I am giving conversion symbol D, conversion symbol D, 3 conversion symbols followed by D. That means we have 3 integers to be printed in place of these 3 percentage D's. In place of first percentage D, value of A will be printed, right? Value of that is 30. In place of second percentage D or conversion symbol will be value of B will be printed, and in place of third one we will be printing the value of GCD A comma B. What is GCD A comma B? What is GCD A comma B? Can anyone tell me? Gautam Muniraj is there? Absent is now only. After, in spite of telling these many times, now they are noting down the students who are not having attendance. I can't understand how many times we should tell you. It is a function call, right? GCD A comma B. So those who are having that attended only few classes, they have sent a list in the WhatsApp group also. They are considered as discontinued. So if you are given any of your documents, I think they will be calling you. So GCD of A comma B, that means we are making a, what is this function call? Understood? We already declared the function over here. We informed the compiler that we are going to have a function, and now here in the main we are going to make a function called GCD A comma B. What are the values which will be passing? 30 comma 24. So now what will happen? This will be our actual arguments. Now in the next, when we call GCD, the control will be moving to this line, right? So now what will happen to this formal arguments, the value of actual arguments will be assigned. Here it will be 30 and here it will be 24. These are the values which will be assigned to the formal arguments. As I told, this will be considered as the actual argument and this values will be considered as the formal arguments, right? Now what is there given in the body of the function GCD? You know that if B is equal to 0, return A. So which line will be executed over here? This or this line, this return or this return? Here A value is 30 and B value is 24. Here we are checking 24 whether it is equal to 0. It is not equal to 0. So which part it will execute? It will execute the else part, right? In else what we have given? Return GCD of B A comma B. What is B value now? Can anyone tell what will be answer in the chat box? What will be passed if you are calling the GCD B comma A mod B? Answer in the chat box. All are sitting lazy. Gerard, what it will be passed? GCD B comma A mod B. It's not 24. What is B value? B value is 24, right? Why all are sitting quietly? No message in the chat box. What is the second argument here? A mod B. What is A value? A value is 30, right? 30 mod 24, right? The value will be what? The remainder. We will be getting it as 6. So what will be passed? Mehboob has message now. 24 comma 6. Understood? Now the new value or the GCD when we are calling from here, the values passed are 24 comma 6. I should see this iteration in your book. Okay. So now what will happen? So here again we are calling GCD with the values. What are the two values we are passing? 24 comma 6. Right? So what will happen now? We will be, so when we make a call, GCD, it will be jumping to this function header. What value will be assigned now? Now this 24 will be assigned to A. Listen here, 24 will be assigned to A and 6 will be assigned to B. So in this current iteration, the value of A and B will be 24 and 6. Right? So now what happened? So here again, so we had called for GCD, no, we were trying to find GCD of 30 and 24. Ultimately, we are now calling GCD of 24, 6. Again, it will come and check here whether what is B value? B value is 6. D is equal to 0. No, it is not equal to 0. So which part it will be returned? It will be executing. It will not execute this. It will be executing this line, right? So now what is the value which we have to pass? We have to pass over here. You know, B is not equal to 0 means we have to execute the else part. In else part, what is we are passing? GCD, returning GCD B comma A mod B. What is the new value or the current value of B? Current value of B is 6. Now, what is the second argument? A mod B. What is the current value of A? Current value of A is 24, right? I'll write it here. Current value of A is 24 and current value of, so what we will do? A mod B. I'll just write A mod B. A is 24. 24 mod symbol we can use. Mod B. What is B? The current iteration is, B value is 6. 24 mod 6, you know it is equal to 0. So you will be substituting the value 0 over here. So we are calling GCD 6, 0. Understood? So now what will happen? Again we are calling, recursively calling GCD. You know, we are again calling GCD. So what will happen now? Again, we are going to substitute the actual or the formal arguments with the new values of A and B. New value of A is 6. New value of B is 0. Understood? Listen here. So now we will be going and checking here. What is the new value? B value is 0 now, right? If 0, B is equal to 0, we have to return A. So what will happen? Which line will be executed now? Which value will be executed? Here, which value will be executed or which return statement will be executed? You know, it will be as B is equal to 0, it will be returning A, right? A is what? A is 6. So now it will be returning 6. Understood? So we are returning 6. Where we are returning? All of you tell me where you are returning. Sometimes we teachers also will find very difficult, you know, we are not speaking one way, as if, you know, I am recording for myself, I feel. Oh. Then what will happen now? Somebody had messaged in the chat box, Janani. So here we will be returning this return statement of 6, you know, where it will be going. From the place where it was called. The called function, that is, here is the location from where we called, right? So it will be returning 6 over here, and where it will be getting printed instead of this %d, this value of GCD of A comma B, which we recursively found from here, it will be printed over here. Are you getting? So now this is the way we will be executing the recursive call or a recursive function for executing or finding the GCD of two numbers. So you can write the or execute the program now itself and send me the output. I'll wait until the output is sent.